we went to Antigua,
Okay.
and it was so beautiful. And definitely saw the similarities of Peru and Guatemala as far as the clothing and the colors,
Right.
but also the differences. So much culture in that little town.
Right.
I mean, everything looks from the 1800s. Nothing has moved, and it's so beautiful to see. Like you're stepping into this magical place as soon as you
Wow.
arrive. It's amazing. Like I contemplated moving there.
This is Collective Drift. I'm your host, Erica Vernay Knowles. This platform was created to celebrate all women, the beauty of their cultures, and international travel experiences. Welcome to Collective.
Hey, welcome back to the Collective Drift podcast. I really appreciate you being here. If you are enjoying yourself, please go ahead and click subscribe wherever you're listening right now. And if you are listening to this on YouTube, remember to like the episode and drop a comment about it. I'd love to have your feedback. If you're on Apple Podcasts or any other platform that you're listening to, please remember to rate this podcast. Appreciate it. Love ya. And this episode is sponsored by Truist. Truist is here for better. BB&T and SunTrust formed Truist with a shared purpose to inspire and build better lives and communities. With our combined resources, collective passion, and commitment to innovation, we're creating a better financial experience to help people and businesses achieve more. Go to truist.com, that's TRUIST.com, to learn more information. Now, this episode is with Celia D Luna. As a note, this episode was recorded prior to the coronavirus pandemic, so if you are going out and about, I hope you are social distancing and wearing your mask. Okay, let's get right to it. Welcome to Collective Drift. Again, I'm Erica Knowles, and today we're here with Celia. She goes by Celia D Luna, and she is a photographer, but I'd like to say that she's a photographer that's more of an artist, so is expressing her art through photography, and she's also a fashion photographer, I should say, right?
Yeah.
But we're glad to have her here today because she is on a spiritual journey for one, but she also shows the spirit through photography. You're a mother, you're a daughter, you're Peruvian from Ayacucho specifically. Yes, Ayacucho. A place I really need to go. As you know, I've spent a lot of time in Peru, about a year, and traveling all around South America in Peru. So definitely, it's awesome.
I think you're gonna like it.
So, how would you describe yourself?
I guess I'll describe myself as this creative person that wants to communicate visually her messages. And my message right now is about sustainability. So I'm very into saving our planet, and I want my photos to say that, and also girl empowerment. So that also comes through very naturally. I was raised by a single mom, so I've always had this big connection with women that kick ass. So that's what I do. Awesome. So speaking of your mom, what's your mom's name? Celia as well. Celia as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. My name is Erica Vernay. My mother's name is Vernay. My grandmother's and my great grandmother's. So we've got that.
Yeah, I kind of regret not putting Celia to my daughter, but whatever. She's her own person. Okay.
Yeah. So speaking of Celia, your mom, how has she impacted you as being a woman? Like, what were some of the things in terms of learning from her, things she said, or just watching her? Yeah.
So I was born in Ayacucho, a little town in Peru, and she was in charge of this travel and tourism company. So she was a boss lady. So that's the first impact that I have from her, or the first connection that I relate to her. So she would go and travel to different cities and connect with artisans, and I would see all the color, all the beauty. So I was exposed to a lot of culture from the get-go. So having her be part of my life and just being that role model that she can do really anything, and with a baby, as a single mom, it was amazing. I didn't realize it influenced me so much until I started creating photos and saw that in my photos. But yeah, definitely a great example to follow.
Wow. It's interesting to say that, you know, the way that she lives, not even as a photographer, but the way that she lived impacted your artwork.
For sure. Everything about it. And she used to dress up always, like it was a thing about her. She would just like wear boots and, have all the outfits. And that was inspiring to me too. So that was my love for clothing, for culture, everything really, that what I'm about is because of her.
So what does it mean to be a woman from Ayacucho? You mentioned the boots and...
Ooh, so I have a funny story about that.
Okay.
Tell us. So when I came to the United States, I was like in my early teen years. Miami smelled like spaghetti for me. Yeah, to me it had this strange smell, and I think it's because in Ayacucho everything is so fresh and it's so clean, and and just that big move, that transition was huge for me.
Right.
It's a little town. I didn't even live in Lima.
Right.
Lima is the capital of Peru, right. So I didn't have that transition either. It was just like this small town.
Yeah.
The small town to Miami, it's a huge city. So, but yeah, I mean, being from Ayacucho is having that culture, having that family support. Even though my mom was a single mom, I had my family, and we were like 15 cousins that would get together every weekend. So having that was amazing.
But what is that culture?
What is that culture?
Yeah. How would you define Ayacucho's culture?
Well, the culture is expressed through culinary, like all the dishes that we have, which are amazing.
What's your favorite one?
People are gonna freak out, but cuy.
Okay, so cuy is
a guinea
pig. Yeah, a guinea pig.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's very common to eat that on a Sunday after partying all night, and it's really, I love it. My daughter doesn't even dare to try it.
It tastes like chicken and a bunch of bones in it.
But it's really good. I love it. Also, it comes through the cuisine and also through the clothing. All the women, not all of them, but you're gonna see women sporting these big skirts with colorful embroidery.
Right.
And we also have a parade every February, which is our carnival, and everybody just dresses up in a group and then just goes around flaunting whatever they're wearing for the different cities in Ayacucho. So it's beautiful. It's just a lot of culture everywhere, and the artisans with the pottery, and the women selling bread that are made out of babies. We call it wawa. And everything.
Wait, bread that's made out of babies?
No, it's actual bread. It's like sweet bread, but it's shaped as babies.
Okay.
And then you can name them.
Okay.
And then, so my abuelita, my grandma would have because we were like 20. So she will buy 20 and put their names all over the grandkids' names and just pass it around. And it was the sweetest thing.
So is that for a certain time of the year?
Yeah, I think it's after the carnival, I believe.
Okay.
No. I'm sorry. It's by Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, so you eat, your chocolate caliente, which is like hot chocolate with your wawa.
Okay.
Wawa's baby.
So. Wawa's baby, okay. Is that in Quechua?
Quechua.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. You were there until you were a teenager, and then you came to Miami straight from there, and you smelled the spaghetti. What was that transition like for you?
Ooh, it was difficult. Yeah, I had 6 months that were very, very hard that I wanted to go back immediately. But then I got used to it, but having that culture shock of not speaking the language or being in a school that all the girls or the boys were already grown up, and I was still wearing my Barbie book bag, and my mom still makes fun of me because I was like the first day with my Barbie book bag, and then the second day, there's no way I'm gonna wear this book bag ever again because everyone made fun of me. Because people already...
I'm sorry for the Miami kids. On behalf of all the Miami kids, I apologize.
No, it was a transition that I had to happen for me to be the woman that I am right now. So
absolutely.
Definitely grateful for that too.
So when did photography and art come into your life?
I've always had a camera with me, but it
Mhm.
was more as a hobby. You know, I would take photos when we would go out at events or concerts and things like that. But it came to me when I wanted to change careers.
Okay.
I was a graphic designer before, and I was in a transition that I wanted to try something new.
Mhm.
And I had a camera. I had extra money to buy a camera, and I got a pretty cool camera, and I was getting married.
Okay.
So we were like, how can we make more money for our wedding?
Mhm.
And let's try this new thing. And we have a new camera. Let's do videos. So we started doing videos together. After getting divorced,
Mhm.
I had my camera, but didn't want to do videos anymore.
Mhm.
And I had to find myself again.
Mhm.
And then that's when I found I really went deep inside and see what really sparked joy in me,
Right.
you know, as far as creating. And that was women. It was when photographing women and
Really?
fashion and all of that. And just a combination of culture and bright things.
So what type of women inspire you? What type of women are your muse?
Ooh, I think go-getters,
Mhm.
entrepreneurs are the most women that I capture. I capture a lot of entrepreneurs, and they're going to that same transition
Mhm.
of leaving maybe their 9 to 5, and they're putting or their brand or whatever they're doing at that moment.
Mhm.
Or it could be an entrepreneur that's been doing it for years, but they want a different vibe. And they're usually in the spiritual journey as well, because they
Right.
want something that speaks to their soul. And
Mhm.
that's when I come in. It's just not a pretty photo.
Mhm.
It's something that they want to convey in a photo.
Okay.
And I love that, because that's exactly what I want to do.
How are you able to tap into that?
So I have my methods. I have a meditation visualization
Mhm.
that I do to connect with my clients before the actual shoot.
Okay.
So it gives us a lot of clarity about what the person is about, and we can go from there. You know, it could be anything. And whenever I do it, it's funny because everyone is so different.
Right.
Everyone has different answers that make up who they are.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful to see. It's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, it's the same with like interviewing people, right?
Yeah.
Connecting with you and understanding who you are. Who are you? Like, how can we dig this out and bring it out here?
Bring it all out.
Bring it all out. So you mentioned meditation.
Mhm.
One of the things that I really like to learn from other women is, so what are those things that are your rituals that help you stay grounded, help you stay you, help you have a great day?
Oh my God, they're so important.
Yeah.
I feel that whenever I don't do them, I feel them throughout my week.
Oh, wow.
And it's also my gratitude journal.
Mhm.
I do it either in the morning or at the end of the day, just
Mhm.
like write down things that I'm grateful for that day.
Mhm.
It helps a lot.
Right.
And also go on a walk.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm in front of my computer way too long,
Mhm.
or I'm shooting and I'm
Mhm.
not being present.
Mhm.
You know, I'm just thinking of all the next thing or the
Right.
next thing. So going for a walk without any distractions, and just kind of experiencing whatever you're experiencing at that moment is amazing. And also meditating in the morning too.
Wow.
Yeah. So meditating in the morning is huge because it just grounds you for the day. And whenever I do it, I also feel it. Yeah.
So you've mentioned your mom. You've mentioned these women that you've interviewed. Tell me about how they or other women, such as even your aunts in Ayacucho, how they've impacted your life and made you who you are.
Ooh. You know, I was thinking about this the other day, and I have very specific women that have impacted my life drastically. And I always think of them, you know, like when I was doing graphic design, my art director, which I was working with, she impacted my life because she was like also too like a go-getter. She had 2 kids with a job, and she was also going to school at the same time, full time.
Oh, wow.
You know, so just having her as a role model at that time impacted my life hugely. I was like, wow, she can do it, I can do it.
Right.
You know, it's one of those things, and I feel that I see that in a lot of people that come to me, and it's just a huge inspiration to. There's also my friend Danielle. I met her after deciding I'm like, I'm gonna be a fashion portrait photographer, and that's my new me.
Right.
And she just came into my life. I actually went to one of her talks. She's an influencer and she's beautiful. So, you know, I just got the nerves, you know, when you're in your higher self, you kind of, you're courageous at that moment. And it was one of those days that I was like, I'm just going to take over the world. And I went to her talk and she was there. I talked to her and she's like, hey, I love what you do and the message and all the things that you're putting out there. And she's like, well, let's do something. So we did after Irma, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So recently, yeah.
And we had a shoot with all the trees falling down, and it was just such an instant connection with her. I think it's one of my favorite shoots to date, and just having her in my life also influenced my life completely. And just people like that. It doesn't even have to be somebody that you know for a few months. It could be just like a person that you meet in the street and they just smile at you, or, you know, are kind to you in a certain way. It's also inspiring.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, especially when you meet people who are outside of your immediate circle. And it's like, wow, this person I would have never thought I would have crossed paths with. And then you meet this person and then they can totally change the trajectory in the direction that you're going in, or help elevate that trajectory, so to say, right?
So I went through, I actually just finished my gratitude training.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Which is like a training about self-development and just bettering yourself. And it was beautiful. And it's one of the first things I learned in that training is because, you know, I went in and I was like, oh my God, I can't relate to anyone here. Nobody looks like me. Nobody talks like me. I don't think I'm going to be friends with anyone here. And then by the end of it, I was hugging everyone. And, you know, they were like brothers and sisters to me. And then just having that open-mindedness of just having anyone come your way and just share their gifts or who they are is so beautiful.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what Collective Drift is about, you know? Yeah, meeting like the women from different cultures and how...
And that's why I love it so much.
Oh, thank you. So, speaking of that, when you've traveled and gone other places in the world, what is one of the most transformational experiences that you've had abroad?
I'm thinking about the last one. I went to Colombia to shoot for accessories company. A friend of mine that lives there. We went there and we were just going to this small town. She's also from a small town in Colombia. So we went to her town. So I was able to see where she was from. And that's the beauty about connecting with other women that are entrepreneurs too. I can see her background because that's what they want to show. And I want to be part of it. And that's why I went to Colombia. And there was this lady, super cute lady, adorable, and we asked for permission to take her photos and she was willing to do it. And it was just so nice to be part of that, having that beautiful backdrop of Colombia and having her be our model, you know. And it was great because she was all about it, you know. I wouldn't do it with she was all about it, and she was posing, she was having fun, and just creating an image with her was amazing.
What did you see in her that was similar to your culture and from being from Ayacucho, and what did you see that was different that you're like, oh?
Well, completely similar was what she was wearing, because she was very colorful. She was wearing this bright green sweater. I was like, oh, that's my girl. Yes, I want to capture you. And she had 2 braids and a hat.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely, you think of Peru and you think of women from the mountains and you think the hat and the 2 braids and the big skirt. Yes.
And I guess the difference is like how they talk, you know, they have a different accent. And it's like, okay, she's not from Peru. She has the signature Colombian accent. Yeah.
Okay. Got you. So tell me about a trip that you've gone on where you've gotten to spend a lot of time there, get to know the people, the women there, the culture.
So a friend of mine, she's also an influencer. She loves to travel, and she was like, I'm going to Guatemala. You want to come with me? I'm like, hell yes. And we're bringing the kids. So she has a daughter too, my daughter too. So we went to Antigua, and it was so beautiful. And definitely saw the similarities of Peru and Guatemala as far as the clothing and the colors,
Right.
but also the differences. And having that, and they have so much culture in that little town.
Right.
I mean, everything looks from the 1800s. Nothing has moved, and it's so beautiful to see. Like you're stepping into this magical place as soon as you arrive. It's amazing. Like I contemplated moving there.
Oh, wow. What made you want to move there?
Just that,
Just
just
right.
having a nice house that you can relax on, and just going to the market and get like organic everything.
Right, because yeah,
because you're there and just experiencing the culture as you walk.
Right.
It was amazing. But then I found out there wasn't too much music in there.
Oh, really?
As far as I love music, so I always go to concerts and things like that. And
that wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean they have the locals and stuff, and not like other.
Right, it's a small town.
Yeah,
right,
so I was like, maybe I can go to the big city, but yeah.
Where did you stay when you were in Antigua?
We rented this cute Airbnb and we stayed together. It was actually a big house.
Okay.
So my friend stayed on the second floor. I stayed on the first floor. And it was so beautiful. Like, I didn't have to go out because they had, like, this little patio. Like a little patio that was so quaint and beautiful. And with all the tiles on the floor and all the wood, I didn't want to leave. I actually had a little mini photo shoot there with the girls.
Wow. I got to go on a trip with you.
Oh, my God. We'll take so many photos.
That would be...
Yeah. People have to like it though, because some people are like, "Are you done, Celia? Can we just move on?"
I do get to that point as well. I do. Okay. And then again with Antigua, what are some of the things that you learned there? Either a physical thing or something that you learned how to do that you brought back from Antigua and now you use as part of your life.
So something that I learned, I guess I didn't learn it, but something that was very obvious to me when I got there, it was a lot of women working. And they were sustaining their home as well. And it was something great to see because they were going, and I had a conversation with somebody that was selling a necklace. And I was just like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Did you make it? And she's like, yeah, I made it at home. And it took me, 5 days to make this little necklace. And just all the work behind beautiful thing and all the things that she has to do to produce it and put it out there was amazing to me, and it was great to see, and it just gave it so much value to that little thing that I bought, which is a huge thing for them.
Which reminds me, you mentioned sustainability in the beginning and that being like something that you're passionate about now.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, well, I have a daughter and I want a future for her.
Right.
I don't want Miami to sink. Yeah, so I don't want Miami to sink, and it's very important for me to just be aware of all our actions and just be as sustainable as possible as you can be, and I know you can't be sustainable every day. I mean, it's a goal for me, for sure, but it's something that you can definitely implement in your life, from all the packaging that you use at the store or that you buy at the supermarket, from using bags, bring out your bags or your water bottle and all the small things that make a huge difference that I feel that everyone is capable of doing. And I want to show that, I want to support that. And that's why I want to work with brands that support it. Okay. I've been lucky enough to find brands that actually are conscious about, how they make the earrings or, they're selling sustainable clothing and things like that, which is amazing to me and definitely want to be part of it.
Awesome. So you mentioned your daughter.
Yeah.
And in the Facebook group for Collective Drift, one of the questions that they want me to ask women is, how are you able to be a creator as an individual and also be a mother, and you're kind of creating this person in a way? How do you, do you have two separate identities as that, or do you see that as one? And how do you balance?
For sure, it's one. Okay. It's one. And she goes to an art school, and she's doing also photography. So, she's also passionate about it, but she's also a teenager. She's like, I don't like that. That's not cool. My friends think you're cool, but not me.
It's like that. Okay.
Yeah, so she's in that stage right now, but definitely not a separation. I think I try to include in the creativity in everything that we do, you know, like us dressing or going to a picnic and being creative with that, or anything really. So just put creativity in whatever we're doing. It's always fun, and it's something that it's always going to be part of me. So I think I even do it unconsciously. It just happens.
Awesome. Yeah, no, your work, I mean, if you look at your photos on Instagram, even you have the photos of your daughter. So she's definitely thread throughout that.
Yeah.
That's just, that's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, she's part of it. I don't think she even realizes it.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
My mom. I want to ask you, before I forget, you spoke about working with companies that are sustainable. But you're here in Miami.
Yeah.
And I would say you've chosen to stay here, right? You could have gone to Ayacucho.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to stay here?
So as I was growing up, I started traveling and visiting other places, and I found myself missing Miami.
Really?
The lively town that Miami is.
Right.
That's what I missed, having the multicultural togetherness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having the multicultural people and speaking Spanglish is huge for me. It's a thing. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she was like, "Mom, I want to practice my Spanish more." And I was like, "That's cool." So you talked to me in Spanish, and it was hard for her to just speak only in Spanish. And I've noticed that I was doing it too, and it was hard for me to do Spanish only. And then we tried to speak only in English as well, and it was hard for us to do that too.
You're a Miami girl, so now you're Spanglish.
Very Spanglish. And I definitely missed that when I was traveling. So it's like, okay, Miami's home.
Okay.
As of now, it's Miami's home, and I love it.
Awesome. What are some of your favorite places in Miami?
Ooh, where I live, for sure. Little Havana speaks to me because it's like living in Havana, really, and it's very vibrant, and there's music, or walking, men are wearing hats, they're playing dominoes, and it's beautiful, and all the murals and the dancing. Yes, for sure. Little Havana, for sure.
Little Havana. Love it. And what are your favorite places, like, to eat or to experience? Museums, galleries, dancing, you mentioned music. Where would you go to listen to music here in Miami?
Ooh. So to dance, for sure, Ball and Chain, it's really cool. It's a Little Havana too. But as far as music, live music is my thing. Bandshell has a lot of great acts. And I'm always on their website finding out who's coming. And even if I don't know them, I do a little bit of research to find out, because they always have good acts. I'm going to see Helado Negro. He's from New York, but he's from Ecuador as well. I think his parents are from Ecuador. He's performing at the Ground in downtown. So that's another music venue. It's pretty cool. Revolution Live also has great concerts. Yeah, I like small venues where I can definitely feel the artists and be close to them. That's the best.
Yeah, I didn't even know that you could look up, like, I know the Bandshell, now that you say it, but I didn't really know that you could look up, like, that it had a website that you can go to and, like, find out. Yeah,
I'm subscribed to their newsletter, so I'm always...
Oh, that's cool. She's like a Bandshell nerd,
Definitely, yeah. And they're going to have a salsa night, too. They're bringing a lot of bands.
Yeah, fun. I love it. I love it. I want to ask you 2 wrap-up questions. The first one is, if you had to ask women in general, all women, a question, what would that be?
So I think I would ask them, what is it that they want to contribute to the world? What is it that they want to leave behind once they're not here anymore?
How would you define what it is to be a woman? Who is a woman? What is a woman?
I think a woman is power, is sweetness, is courageousness, is worthiness, is multitasking and doing it with grace. I think is perfection, really. Perfection doesn't exist, but women are perfect. in my eyes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Women are perfect. I'm going.
Yes, yes, they are.
Yes, they are. And we're here to
So
tell
are
you.
you.
Oh, thank you. You are perfect. And we're hoping to tell these stories of these perfect women.
Yes.
Yes. How can everyone reach you?
Oh, so you can find me on Instagram. That's where I hang out most of the time. My name is Celia, the letter D, Luna. And you can find me the same way through Facebook and my website as well, Celia D Luna.
Awesome. Thank you, Celia.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Collective Drift. So to get all the information that Celia spoke about, including her social media platforms, as well as the places, cities, and venues she mentioned, go to collectivedrift.com. That's collectivdrift.com, of course. And make sure you follow Collective Drift on Instagram and Facebook, and follow Truist as well on Instagram. And go to truist.com for more information about them. Thanks again for sponsoring this episode, Truist. Love ya. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you will be listening to Collective Drift on the next episode. Remember to subscribe so you get that update.